Shalom, this is Levi Shore. Welcome back to Sweet and Good Torah. Today we're going to learn the amazing prophecy of Yeshayahu Hanavi, Isaiah the prophet. We're going to take a look at chapter 42. We're going to learn the commentary of Rabbi Shimon sorry. And we're going to take a look at the amazing vision of the Yemot of Mashiach, the days of Mashiach, and we're going to see how Mashiach is going to bring justice back to the world. He's going to bring the light of the Torah. He's going to bring the wisdom of the Torah to the world. We're going to see a much different world. Let me bring it up on the screen here, and we'll start learning the prophecy of Isaiah. All right, so we're going to start off here, and it says, Hein Avdi Esmach Bo. So he's talking about Mashiach, Hashem saying that he is my servant and I support him. Bechiri, he's my chosen one. Ratsa Nafshi, my soul, Hashem says, my soul delights in him. Nesati Ruhi, Alav, I put my spirit, my wisdom, my Ruach Chakma, Ruach Bina, Ruach Das, wisdom, understanding, and knowledge upon Mashiach. And Mishpat Lagoyim Yotzi, he's going to go out to the nations and he's going to restore justice. He's going to bring Mishpat, justice, to the world. So Velo Lo Yitzak, Velo Yisa. Very interesting. He's not going to cry out. He's not going to scream or cry out. He's not going to raise his voice. Velo Yashmia Bechutz Kolo. His voice won't even be heard outside. He's just going to speak very calmly, very softly, just saying the wisdom, the words of the Torah. So Kana Retsus Lo Yishbor. So even a bruised reed, he's not going to break. Ufishta Kecha. Or he's not going to even put out the fire, lo yechabena. Like even if the wick is going out, he's not going to extinguish it. So le'emetz yosi mishpat, and he's going to bring truth and justice into the world. All right, so let's take a look at some of Rabbi Schwab's commentary, and let's see what we're learning here. So he's going to start off, and he's going to say, Es makbo, like Hashem saying, I support Mashiach. On the face of it, it looks like it means like Hashem's actually saying, I will lean upon him for support. The Radak and the others do take it this way. However, it's a figure of speech, meaning that Hashem will use Mashiach to carry out his will. However, we have taken it poetically, as does Rabbi Julius Hirsch, to mean I will support him. So what's it mean? Rasa nafshi, whom my soul has found favor. So ratzon is goodwill or favor, as Yehi Ritzoy Yachav. He finds favor in the eyes of his brother, as it says in Deuteronomy 33:24. And Poseach es Yedeka masbila kol karetzon. Right, Hashem opens his hand and he satisfies everyone in a pleasing way. Right, so this is the most interesting thing. So Mishpat Lagoyim Yotzi, he's going to bring forth justice to the nations. So here we have one of the functions of Mashiach. He will teach the nations of the world justice. This is what's called the Shiva Mitzvahs B'nai Noach. These are the 7 mitzvahs that were commanded to Adam Arishon, to Adam in the Garden of Eden, and then was commanded to Noah after he was saved from the flood. So Noah, his wife, his 3 sons, and their wives were commanded in these 7 mitzvahs, and these are the mitzvahs that are commanded upon all of humanity, all the nations of the world. So Kadosh Baruch Hu, the Holy One, blessed be He. He created all of humanity, not only Israel. And the nations of the world, like Israel, also are required to serve Kadosh Baruch Hu, but in a separate way. To Yisrael, Hashem gave the Torah with all of its mitzvahs, all 613 of the mitzvahs, and then there's the 7 rabbinical mitzvahs. And to the nations of the world, who are descendants of Noach, Hashem gave the Shiva mitzvahs b'nei Noach. These are the 7 general commandments for the conduct of a decent and moral life. And the function of Yisrael is to become the Mamleches Kohanim V'Goy Kadosh, a kingdom of priests and a holy nation. This is from Exodus 19:16. So this means that the Jewish people are to be Hashem's ideal nation, Kohanim, teachers, and examples of the world of how to live a morally clean life, a Goy Kadosh, a holy nation according to Hashem's will. And one of the functions of Mashiach will be to teach the world the practical application of the Sheva Mitzvos B'nai Noach. So when Mashiach teaches the world about Hashem and his moral law, he'll be so compelling and convincing that he will not have to use any force. He doesn't have to shout or even raise his voice or advertise his mission in any way. The nations of the world will be eager to hear what he has to say. So it's interesting. So there's the debate here, is this after the wars of Gog and Magog? And now the world has fully seen that only Hashem is the one, infinite being, the one divine power. There's no other gods. Or is this happening before or during these wars? So we'll see that it could be either way. So the people of the world will be so eager to learn from Mashiach about what Hashem wants of them and teaching them, he will not even have to use as little force as it takes to break a damaged reed or extinguish a fire that's almost out. And then what's Mashiach going to do? Le'emes yotze mishpat. For truth, he will bring forth justice. The world will see that justice that he teaches ever so gently without shouting is the truth, is the emes. When Mashiach comes, the whole world will be ready for emes, the truth as taught by the Torah. The world will finally come to the conclusion that every other religion and philosophy of life was sheker, it was falsehood or distortion of the truth. And Yirmiyah Hanavi, Jeremiah the prophet, he expresses it this way: Elecha goyim yavo me'afse aretz, v'yomro ach sheker nechalo avosenu hevel ve'ein bam moel. To you, nations will come from the ends of the earth and will say, our fathers have inherited only falsehood, emptiness in which there was no usefulness. This is from Jeremiah 16:19. And what's lo yikah? He will not become weakened. Gentle as Mashiach will be, he will nevertheless be persistent and never weaken. Below Yarutz, and his resolve will never break. Ad Yasim Ba'aretz Mishpat, until he has accomplished his mission of bringing Hashem's moral justice to the world. The work which was stated millennia earlier by Abraham Avinu, by Abraham, when he was Vayikra B'Shem Hashem. Abraham would call out in Hashem's name, in God's name. And this mission will be completed by Mashiach. Sorry, I think I jumped ahead one verse. So let's just take a look at the fourth verse that Rabbi Schwab was commenting on there. And he's saying, Lo Yikeh. Mashiach's not going to become weakened as he's doing this job of teaching the world the Torah. Lo Yarutz. And he's not going to be bruised. Ad Yasim Ba'aretz. Until he establishes on the earth mishpat, justice. Soraso iyem Yiyachelu, until he's established the justice on earth and all the islands, they're going to await his teaching. So it's interesting because we could think in a way of North America, South America, Australia. They're in a sense they're continents, but in a sense they're huge islands. But even the smallest island in the farthest part of the world away from Israel, the Torah will go throughout the whole world. And we see something interesting now. We see with our current technology. Here we can learn Torah all over the world, and Hashem has given us this beautiful technology of the internet and social media, and now the Torah can be spread all over the world. All right, so let's see. So then it says, well, the Sorah so, iyim yayachelu, and far-flung nations, far-flung islands will be eager for his teaching. The word yayachelu is derived from yachel, to hope, to eagerly await. Yachel Yisrael El Hashem. Israel eagerly awaits Hashem. This is from Tehillim 130, Psalms 137. There will always be questions of law that have to be decided by the highest authority. For this, people will flock to Mashiach from the farthest reaches of the earth, eager to hear what he has to teach them regarding the particular questions. And now the Navi prophesizes Hashem's charge to the future Mashiach. He first identifies Hashem as the creator of heaven and earth, and everything springs from it. All right, so let's go on here. Let's go to the next pasuk, the next verse, and we see here it says, Ko Amar Hakel Hashem. So thus says Hashem, the eternal God, Borei Hashemayim v'notechem roka haaretz. He created the heavens, and he stretched them out. He spread out the earth, and that's going to bring forth no same neshama la'am. And this is very interesting. He gives actually a soul to all of humanity. Alecha, so the neshama la'am, alecha, he gives to the nation, but to all the nations, the world, to all of humanity. Baruach lechochim ba. and life to those who walk on the earth. So let's see what Rabbi Schwab says here. So Rabbi Schwab, he says, no say neshama am alecha. He gives the soul to the nation upon it. Am refers to the entire nation of the human race who possesses an neshama, a soul. Baruach lechochim ba, and a spirit to those who walk in it. This refers to the animal life on earth, who possesses only the lower levels of the soul, the ruach, the spirit of life, the ability to lachochim ba, to walk or move about on the earth. And now this is Hashem's special message to Mashiach. So the idea of the soul of the world is interesting. There is a universal man, a universal construct the size of the universe called Adam Kadmon. It's the highest spiritual world. And that spiritual construct, then from that, is all the souls, that are ever going to be created in the world. So right now we're over 8 billion. And we have a tradition that when all the souls leave that place called the goof, they leave, their place in the high spiritual worlds and come down to earth, then Mashiach will come. All right, so let's go to the next pasuk here. He says, Ani Hashem, karasich betzedek, ve'achzek biyadecha, ve'esrecha, ve'etencha livris am laor. So he's saying, I am Hashem, and I call you in justice, and I've grasped you, I hold you with my hand, and then he's saying, I formed you, and I appointed you to be interesting, to be a bris, to be a covenant, and to be an am laor, to be a light to the nation. So what Hashem's saying is, one day, when Mashiach comes and teaches the world Torah, just as Hashem made a covenant with Abraham Avinu, with Abraham and the Jewish people, through Mashiach, he is going to connect the whole world to Hashem. All the nations of the world will have some connection to Hashem in this universal, this global covenant that's going to be in the future with Mashiach. All right, so let's see what Rabbi Schwab says here. He says, Karasicha betzedek, I have called you in righteousness. I have called upon you for the purpose of bringing justice to the world. Ve'etzarcha, and I protect you. A poetic form of nitzor, of guard and protect. Livris am laor goyim, as a covenant for humanity, as a light for the nations. Your enlightenment of the world's population about Hashem and His moral law carries out my covenant with them and makes it possible for them to exist. This prophecy looks at a future time when all those who will remain alive in the world, Jew and non-Jew alike, will be tzaddikim, they'll be very righteous, which we include in Hallel, and there is a mention made first of Yisrael, then the Beis Aharon, the house of Aaron, and then Yirei Hashem, all those who fear Hashem, the people who have accepted Akadosh Baruch Hu, the Holy One, blessed be He, and His moral law for mankind. He continues to describe the function of Abdi, Hashem's servant, Mashiach. All right, so let's go on here to the next pasuk. And it says, Lif koach einayim ivros. Interesting. So Hashem's saying He's going to open the eyes of the blind, l'chotzi mimasker asir mebeis keleh. And He's going to rescue the prisoners from their house of kind of like darkness, yoshvei choshech. And they're from the dungeon and those who sit in darkness. All right, so this is very interesting. So Rabbi Schwab, he says here, it is Lif koach einayim ivros, to open blind eyes. He will open the eyes of the world's population so they can see the truth of the existence of Akadosh Baruch Hu, the Holy One, blessed be He. L'chotzi mimasker asir mebeis keleh yoshev choshech, to take the confined out of jail, out of the house of imprisonment, those who dwell in darkness. It is possible this means simply that Mashiach will free the innocent who have been unjustly imprisoned. And we really see like corruption of justice systems all over the world. And we see a lot of political prosecutions in America, and it's not an unbiased system, it seems, in many ways. So there is great possibility for innocent people to be put into jail. So it could also mean that Mashiach will free those who were spiritually imprisoned. And Yoshvei Choshech, they living in the dark, by the conviction of their false ideologies and wrong desires, regardless of whether these desires were permitted or not. He ends this nevuah, he ends this prophecy with Hashem's signature. All right, so let's go on here. And then it says, Ani Hashem hu shemi. So he's saying, I am Hashem, that is my name. Ukavodi le'acher lo atain. And my honor to another I will not give. Usachilasi lapasilim. Hashem is saying, I will not, my praise will not be sung to idols. Okay, so let's see what it says here. Rabbi Schwab says, at the time of Mashiach, there will be no foreign concepts of religion or of a God. The whole world will recognize Ani Hashem. He's saying that I am Hashem, the one and only creator who keeps all of creation in existence. Isaiah now ends this prophecy of the Messianic era with a prophecy of that beautiful world to come in which there will be the universal recognition of a Kadosh Baruch Hu, the Holy One, blessed be He, as taught by Mashiach. All right, so let's go on to the next verse here. And it says, Harishonos hine va'u. So just as the earlier ones, the first ones that they came, like the ancient ones came, we see the ancient history, the Chadashos ani magid. And now to the newer ones, meaning us now in the days of Mashiach, like the newer ones, I'm going to tell, Beterem titz machna ashmiya. I will say new things, announcing to you before they sprout up. So here we're going to have a vision in our days of what's going to happen in the days of Mashiach. It says, we can paraphrase Isaiah's statement here this way. The miraculous events that Akash Baruch Hu did of old, meaning all the miracles that Hashem did in the ancient world, like taking the Jewish people out of Israel with the 10 plagues and the splitting of the Red Sea and making, splitting the Jordan when Joshua came into the land, led the Jewish people into the land, all the miracles that we saw in the ancient world. He said, now, they're recorded in history. But now I will tell you of new things to come before they've even begun to grow as the history of the world unfolds. The prophecy, the new things to come, begins with a symphony of Shir Chadash, a new song to Hashem as he envisions the beautiful new world of Mashiach. All right, so we're going to hear about the new song that B'ezrat Hashem will be sung soon. It says, Shiru LaHashem Shir Chadash. Sing to Hashem, sing a new song. Tehillah so miksei haaretz. Sing his praises from the ends of the earth. Yordei hayam, those that go down to the sea, the sailors, the merchants that travel over the oceans. Umalo iyim v'yoshveihem, and all those who fill the islands and their inhabitants. All right, so let's see what this means. So Rabbi Schwab, he says, Shir Chadash, a new song for a new era in world history. As we go into the days of Mashiach, it's going to be the next phase of history. Tehillah so miksei haaretz. His praise from the edges of the earth. Hashem's praise will come from every corner of the globe. Not only from Israel, he calls on all the world's people to sing this new song of praise to Kadosh Baruch Hu, wherever they are on the globe. Yordei hayam umalo iyim v'yoshveihem. Those that go down to the sea and all that is in it. Far-flung islands and their inhabitants. Those traveling on the high seas, and those who fill the seas with trading vessels, and those who live on the far-flung islands of the earth. Earlier we rendered iyim as far-flung lands, but here is meant to be taken literally islands. He includes the sparsely inhabited parts of the world in his symphony. All right, so it's amazing stuff. Isaiah's here is giving us a glimpse of what life will be like in the days of Mashiach, and may we speedily see this in our days. And we're going to see a world that is hungry for wisdom, hungry to learn the Torah, and they want to live a moral life. They want to know, clear moral code, how to uplift themselves spiritually and physically, and how to bring the spirituality into the physical world. I hope you enjoyed it. Let me hear all your comments, what you think. Are you excited about, to see the world of Mashiach, the days of Mashiach? And please like, share, subscribe, all the good stuff. And I hope to see you back again soon on Sweet and Good Torah.